Hello everyone, and welcome to the 30th episode of The Weave. My name is Lucas, and today I'll be your Dungeon Master, and we have Keth back from the Spains.
All
All of them? Yeah, we have everyone, look at that. All of the... Wait, this music is too
brooding.
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, so last session, unfortunately, we don't have a recording, so I used the recordings for the proper recaps and to prepare. So now I have to rely on memory, and this is weird. I don't have any
memory.
Anyway, so let's recap.
Alright, we should all really pay attention to what he says now, just in case.
Yeah.
You changed some stuff.
Fake news.
So, the party found itself within the Senator's lair. Within the Senator's sanctum, Silas, Arion, and Jallister subdue Ott, knocking him unconscious, at the same time as they are affected by weird spores, except Arion. They investigate the area, and after overhearing a conversation in the audience chamber, Thorbin shows up dragging a barrel that he promptly places as part of the plan to set explosives and bring down the Senator's lair. Silas, even under the effects of the strange underdark spores, manages to get the eye of the stone from the fishbowl. They both hatch a plan, Silas and Arion, for Arion and Jallister to get out with the stone and the eyes, while Silas stays behind, intent on rescuing Theron. That's why we have the poignant music, because something will happen about that. Meanwhile, back in the pit, Keth, Genghorn, and Patch are planning what to do about their next fight, when Keth is summoned by Raylene, the Drow priestess. She tells him to follow her lead as she creates a distraction that will give her an opening to escape. Keth isn't too happy about his arrangement, but there's not a lot he can do about this priestess. It's a commentary.
She is badass. She was badass.
Meanwhile, Patch tries to strike a parallel agreement with Lara, but they clash in terms of the exact terms. You know, you have to be ready to walk away from the negotiations. As the fight starts, the party quickly springs into action, with Patch exchanging blows with Lara and Keth moving against Raylene.
Wait, there was one massive thing that happened before the fight started.
I maybe put it after.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Just
Okay, here you go.
Well, no, in case I missed it, what do you mean?
Just the whole give me my scourge thing, and she got her whip from the Xanathar.
Oh yes, well
So
yeah.
that
So,
happens
so
in the
Raylene,
fight.
yeah. So Raylene manages to get the scourge whip back by demanding that to make it a more interesting fight, and the Xanathar, in his hubris, allows this. And she summons Yochlol, causing chaos, forcing the party into a single course of action: flee. Genhorn summons a big creature, creating a blockage that pits off the audience and Xanatarian's agents against the Yochlol, opening a route for the party. Xanatar, Theron, and other agents flee the scene as well, with another fight breaking out in the audience chamber against a new group. As Arion and Jallister escape, Silas finds himself trapped with the Xanatar. Silas threatens to destroy Silgar, an act that surprises, enrages, and scares the Xanatar. Silas demands that he speaks to Theron, and the Xanatar complies by telekinetically smashing Theron into the room as the fight rages outside. Meanwhile, the rest of the party deals with a beholder zombie and some odd plants blocking the way, as they are joined by Arion and Jallister. Together, they all escape, even as Arion races ahead, disappearing into the sewers. Keth, though, noticing that Silas has been left behind, runs back into the audience chamber, where the fight still rages. Silas goes to check on Theron, that has been smashed against the pillar by the Xanatar's telekinetic ray. The Xanatar used this temporary distraction to use his ray again, snatching Silgar from Silas's hand. He reacts by using his mage hand to smash the eye scratch poison vial inside the Xanatar's mouth, just as the Xanatar shoots a petrifying ray. As the Xanatar starts to go blind, desperately thrashing about, Silas, feeling his body go numb and grey and the petrification taking hold, uses his Seeker Dart against Silgar, destroying the jar and the fish in an explosion on electrified water. The Xanatar loses its mind and starts shooting rays everywhere whilst holding Theron with the telekinetic ray. At this time, the explosive charges that Thorvin had set go off, and the whole lair trembles as it starts to crumble. Keth, though, manages to make it past the fight, where he catches a glimpse of a group of drow fleeing the scene, apparently they're led by a familiar figure. Making it to the Sanctum, where he sees the petrified body of Silas and Theron being held up in the air. Keth grabs Theron and Thunder steps away, dragging the stunned Theron with him as the Xanatar wildly thrashes about, shooting rays in every direction, totally out of his mind as the lair falls apart all around him. Finally, Keth and Theron make it back to the sewers and Theron leads him out into the surface, with Keth going all the way back to the manor and leaving the boy there. The rest of the party, Arion having made his way before everyone else, reconvenes in their room at the yawning portal, where they reflect upon the events of the night. Eventually, Keth joins them, sharing the news of Silas's fate. Arion opens the little lead box, placing the stone of Galore on the table and placing the final eye on the stone. His mind is suddenly taken, drawn to an impossibly dark and deep abyss in the depths of the ocean, as 3 immense eyes, aligned vertically, open up before him, emitting a gloomy light.
I see you. Your fragile mind will do for now.
And that's where we left off. I need something not poignant. Mystery.
Bell music.
This way. So we have to fight Arion.
So, Arion, you feel this presence in your head. It is powerful, overwhelming. It is massive and old as Toril itself, the world, and or even older. I need you to make. Where is it? My notes.
A death save.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. This is one of your good ones.
That proficiency. 14.
14. Okay. You all see Therion
You
go,
want to relax?
his eyes open wide, and as he appears to mumble a word, and
And then looks to the door.
you fall unconscious with the stone in your hand. You go like catatonic, like stone in one hand.
Was he like grasping at
That's
stuff?
not this wannabe.
No, just holding it there. Actually, no, because
Am I asleep? Because I can't be magically put to sleep.
no, you're unconscious.
Oh, it's killed him!
What?
Get out of his hand!
Wait, this happened before. It happened to our old friend Silas once.
I get my stick and just try and shove the stone out of his hand.
Okay, you show the stone out.
No one touch it.
Right. Yeah, just keep it over there. Let me just want to inspect him, see if he's got like a pulse, a little bit of a quick medicine check, make sure he's still alive, he's breathing.
Yes, it's automatic success. He's breathing, definitely breathing. He appears to be sleeping, but as a verbal, you know that because of the Fey ancestry that you share, even in a different fashion, but you know about elves, and he doesn't sleep normally, so this is something else.
See if you can wake him up with your magic.
I don't know if I've got anything I could do that with right now.
Let me try my magic.
Nothing happens. But as you're talking, about a minute passes, and you go,
Wait, it worked.
wake up.
Right there is some powerful magic right there.
You right there?
I think so.
What happened?
I'm not sure.
What's the last thing you remember?
I remember being in. Just when I grabbed the stone. Where is it? Is it just on the floor?
It's on the ground now. Yeah, as you kind of like wake up, it just rolls off your hand and it's just there, lying on the ground. Oh, well, no,
On the table.
you
Moved it out of the way of
you
everyone.
push it out of
yeah.
the way. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't touch that. What?
Put the box over it for now. I'm concerned. When I touched it, I was in water. I just saw eyes, 3 eyes, like the stone. Just spoke to me.
So that, like a creature that looks like that.
It looks like that.
Does this, from my research I did, sort of, I mean, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point everything you learn about Aboleth and their particular anatomy and you instinctively felt the presence, mind, knowledge of this being, knowledge of ages, as ancient as the world itself. Like it was overwhelming. This is what made you go unconscious. There was a sudden rush of knowledge, an attempt to attune with you, and your mind couldn't take it.
Well, spit out what to say.
Sorry, one second. Are we in one of the bedrooms?
Yeah, you're in the room.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Don't worry, he's just had too much to drink.
It offered me knowledge, and it tried to give it to me, and all of a sudden, just nothing.
Well, if he didn't kill you, I guess you could try again.
You don't feel like you know anything extra?
Apart from what I saw, nothing new.
Maybe.
Perhaps you should try again, Hearn. You have a goddess. I don't know if you're a religious person or not, Arian, but you have a goddess that might be able to shield you from the influences of another creature.
Right. The aboleths, from what I read, are quite powerful. I don't know really. I mean, I could try, but.
So make a religion check.
Me?
Yes. Not you again, Horn, because this is more like a specific like religion.
Me?
Not you. Keth uses. Actually, you also make a religion check, but you make it with disadvantage, Keth.
Do you want to use my rolls?
Can I use his rules?
18 and 19.
Okay.
That's good.
So you know of certain magics that can help in protecting from influence. In particular, you would know. What did you roll?
12.
Right. You would know about the protection from good and evil spell. This is something that can keep this kind of sentient minds at bay. At the same time, you realize though that it will prevent you from attuning to it, which is apparently what the presence wanted to do.
Right. As I felt it was trying to attune with me in the same way as items we found before. I know a way of protecting us from it, but it's not something I can do. It's something. I mean, it's something Niall could have done. And I think if we were to protect ourselves in that way, we wouldn't be able to achieve what it's trying to do.
Then there's nothing to be gained from that.
Yes,
We haven't
the
come all the
question
way.
is, what do we want? What are we expecting here? And if we are successful, if we are able to take this without falling unconscious, is that a good thing?
Well, at this point, I mean, we've come all the way looking for the Never Ember's Enigma, the gold that was embezzled. I mean, isn't that what we should ask about?
I mean, yes, that would be a great place to start.
Does this creature know all of the knowledge of the world? We could ask them about anything.
It knew more than I could conceive.
Well, if it. Did it seem to mean you any harm, or.
It seemed to disregard me as worth harming, I suppose. He was just trying to do something and I wasn't up to the task.
I mean, we could just take it in turns, and. If someone doesn't wake up, then we stop.
No.
Well-
Your limits. I've heard some shit plans in my time.
Well, I mean, we're playing with powers that we don't really understand, so.
Who's you got anyone, other than this group?
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to? Who's your contacts? Anyone you can trust who's going to be good with this?
I mean, I could take it to see the lady of Fallon or
Falconmere.
Falconmere.
Then before we take it to anyone else, we should
What
try
is-
ourselves.
What does it mean to be good at this? I'm happy to try again if it means to an end.
Oh, I know Halloum would probably have a thing or two to say about it, but it's up to you.
I mean, I feel like he's just gonna touch it as well.
Well, he sees things no one else sees all the bloody time.
Yeah, but I mean, if this is connected to this aboleth that we suspect is what Arian has said sounds to be the case, then this thing is very old and very powerful, and I'm sure Halloum himself is very wise, but what can he really do against something that old and powerful? If
You say no wiser.
no, all I'm saying is it sounds like it wants to give us some knowledge, and maybe by some kind of chance one of us might just be able to
Do you want to
withstand.
touch that stone?
Well, not really, but I feel like someone has to, and
On a scale of 1
Arian
to
already
10,
tried
where are
it
you?
and it didn't seem to really respond to him, so I don't know. Kev, do you wanna?
I'm happy to try, but if you want to try again first,
It needs to be one of us. I'm happy to.
do it.
I'll grab the stone again.
Okay, you grab the stone again, and he's like, same thing. Make a wisdom saving throw.
His plan was basically Russian roulette
22.
continuously.
22.
Until someone dies.
You know, and again, the knowledge is overwhelming. You see, almost like, kind of like life flashing before your eyes, but you see empires fall. You see volcanoes being born. You see tectonic plates kind of like crashing against each other. Mountains, mountain ranges kind of like shooting up in the air. The oceans drying up and filling up again. It's like the history of the world. It's like kings dying, dragons appearing in the world for the first time. A large underwater kingdom. You are king. You enslave hundreds of thousands of species. They all disappear eventually, but you're still there. You're still part of this world. Whatever changes, there's only one constant. Your abolithic sovereignty is always present. And then you're back in yourself, Arion, and you now feel that presence managing to stay separate from you, but attuned to you. And you immediately feel like it's impossible for you to feel fear or be manipulated. You are immune to charm and frightened and being frightened.
Can I change my level 7?
Go with the monk.
I was considering multiclassing into rogue because it would have been really cool, but I went with monk and it's just such a waste.
As this presence essentially is overwhelming, it gives you gives you confidence, but you feel almost that it would be beneath yourself to be frightened by anything else ever again. And you also feel as if your eyesight is a bit weird. It is a bit blurry. You manage to focus after a moment.
Missing an eye.
You see it vertically, so you can now see vertical video in the iPhones. And you feel this presence there. You can talk to it.
I'm still awake.
See that?
Because these are.
It feels strange, but I feel like it. It feels as if I was it. Now it is here.
What do you mean?
It's some kind of bond. Like this creature still lives, but somehow I'm connected to it through this.
Well,
What does it say? If anything.
What do you say? I look at the stone.
What do you want?
We're looking for the gold.
The gold. In history, gold appears many times over. The gold of the Prince Galactus III, destroyed by the Empire of the UNT, transported via barges downriver, still sunk at the bottom of that river you may find.
I thought you knew everything. But you don't know what I mean.
I know of things I have seen. Be specific.
I'm looking for the money which was embezzled by Lord Neverember.
Gold, Neverember gold. The vault.
Where is the vault?
At that, you see suddenly like a barrage of images, like you see twisted underground tunnels lit by strange lights. There is an endless field of corpses, and you're just transported there. It is dark. There is a moon up there in the sky, and you're just walking on corpses. Then your mind jumps forward, and you are surrounded by halls of stone. A golden dragon turns around and looks at you. It's aging rapidly, super rapidly. The scales just shedding as it becomes older and older and dies, surrounded by the shed scales. You hear the sound of a hammer and a dwarf, and you recognize instinctively as Dumathoin, the Lord of the Mines, the dwarves, smashing with a mithril hammer inside some kind of volcano cavern forge, and there is a hole on the side of the inner side of this cave, and there is a single ray of sunshine, of sunlight hitting the forge as it smashes a dragon scale against the anvil, lit by sunlight. You see someone carving in Dethic, old dwarven, that you instinctively understand characters, and those characters spell Brandath crypts, and then you pull back again. The vault.
Brandeth Crypts.
What?
Brandeth Crypts, does that mean anything?
Gosh. It is, I mean, Kate would remember, is the...
You've been there.
Yeah.
It is Brandath is the maiden name of Lord Renée Neverember's mother.
Oh, was that the one we were in?
The first time you were there, you found a sconce that was missing, a hole, and you managed to figure out that an eye has been stolen from there. The eye the Casalantes had.
So... the gold is in the vault and that crypt.
I mean, the what it's showing me is strange. I don't fully understand what it's trying to tell me. Some information, I'm not sure if it's just flexing knowledge or if there's some cryptic meaning behind it. But
You realize this mind is so alien to your understanding that the way it interprets knowledge and the way it shows it to you, it's interconnected thoughts that are about exactly what you're talking about, what you asked, but it's too alien to arrange those thoughts in ways that you would as a person, So the vision I gave you is kind of like your interpretation of this super weird way of exposing information.
You said showed you. What do you mean showed you?
It doesn't communicate in words, for the most part. It as I say, as it floods information, just sends it to me, and I understand that I see as though remembering.
Can you describe? I mean, in a way that we understand as best you can.
What? The information doesn't seem pertinent. It seems as though it just thinks differently. And the important part is at the end where it comes to the final place, which is that crypt.
Well,
Are you saying you know where the crypt is?
yeah, we've been there before, actually. Been inside that crypt.
Well, only Keth and Genhorn out of the
Yeah.
current. By the way, you are there still with Yagra is downstairs, but Jalister is still with you.
Really now.
Stop. Take him out.
Maybe the presence of the stone reveals something.
Perhaps.
Do we want to? I mean, how is everyone feeling after? We should have a long ordeal down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, last time we went in, it was with Lord Renair.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one that allowed us to go in, so that the
Well, we know,
Guardian would not.
we know the tree now, so it'll be alright. I think.
Will it?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
You know, a tree.
Do you not have any friends that are trees?
Do you mean the path?
You should really have more diverse friends.
They're not very chatty.
Oh, this one is.
This is a tree, like a living tree.
The Guardian of the Crypt is a big tree. I don't know what I called.
A tree.
Tree and
Did you say train?
Yeah, you know what the trend is.
the original, but
Quite familiar with them.
But yeah, he's a pretty nice guy.
yeah, but he is in task with guarding the crypt.
Yeah, but he knows that we were okay to go in there, so it won't be a problem.
Well, how did you get in the first time?
We just walked in.
Oh, I said pretty shit Guardian then.
Well, no, but Lord Rainier was with us, and he said to the tree, "It's okay, we're going in."
Oh,
You know who Lord Renier is, of course.
Right. So do we need him or
I think we'll be alright without him. To be honest with you.
Tree doesn't know me?
Oh yeah, but he knows us, so it'll be alright. I think we're.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
I'm sure he knows you not to be of the family. Showing up without the Renair is a different
I
story.
think we should speak to Lord Renair.
I mean, I suppose it could be useful to have him just in case. It might be some kind of like blood pact or something on to open it. You never know. These kind of things. We've seen all these blood things going around everywhere with books and stuff. That we're not up to that book now that Silas will probably.
What
So
book?
much
What
stuff.
book?
What book do I have?
The book we got from the Castle Hunters that had we put the blood in and it made the book text.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Salas was entombed with so much stuff. I
Yeah.
was checking your card sheet.
Cloak of the
Cloak, elemental, the spell gem,
Wingsuit.
the
wingsuit.
wingsuit,
protection, guns,
ring of protection.
fancy leathers, like scroll of counterspell.
I
Scroll
mean,
of
you
Misty
played it
Step.
like a true thief or a true rogue, just
Yeah.
like
All
gather all the shit.
No wonder you look so fat.
2 magical swords, little braziers, hidden dagger.
Actually, the leather armor you probably couldn't have taken, I guess. But anyway, fuck it.
Why am I leather armor?
Anyway,
The one you stole from the jar.
so
That's right.
yeah, we
Yeah.
basically, if you want to get Rainier, we can. I mean, I can go in and speak to him. It's probably best out of a lot of us. I would probably be the more appropriate person to go and approach him about it. No offense.
No, taken.
Do you think it's wise to go alone?
What, to see Lord
That's a
Renair?
good point.
To go anywhere?
Well, I can travel without really being noticed as much. So
Okay, if you're confident.
yeah, it'll be alright.
Right, so what you tell him? meet us?
Well, I'll just ask him, you know, maybe actually would it be good if he travelled? He might be still being watched.
Should we not just like? I mean, are we going to go now in the morrow?
I suggest we all have a breather.
Oh,
Yeah.
the stone. What is the time?
There is
You
there
bring,
is
you
no
bring the evidence
response.
mind.
Time?
What?
It's not Alexa. so,
Turn on the lights.
yeah.
Ask,
Can you? Yeah. Order some food, some room service.
ask the stone if he what he knows about any powerful artifacts within the district of Waterdeep.
I'm sure there are many.
The district of Waterdeep.
Just actually ask them if there are what's in the treasure. Is there anything else apart from gold?
I can ask. Do you know of anything else more than gold buried with?
The staff. The dragon staff of Ageron.
Dragon Staff of Egeron.
You know who Ageron is, by the way.
Sounds cool.
Sounds real fancy.
You guys have the gold. The staff sounds. I like staff.
Sorry. Don't know how to
You
pronounce
can keep-
Ageron?
Oh, do you have a blessing thing?
Ageron? Pronounce Ageron. Oh, yeah. I pronounced it right. Was a human made from Norwest Faerun and the first open lord of Waterdeep. He was basically, he created the system of government. He was like, you know,
Right.
very famous
Do
figure.
you know what their staff does?
I don't know, but if it's
Like,
the first open lord of Waterdeep, I'm sure make a roll.
history.
Natural 20.
Patch. Oh. No need. Natural 20. Okay. You know something interesting.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Oh!
Well, none of that's
also
20.
knows.
Also 20.
What is that mini dice?
It's just a regular dice, but small.
Yeah, but only 20.
Or
not
far
enough.
away.
Okay, so you know
I want to beat to it.
that
Finish the sentence.
the Waterdeep is under a ward that Ageron put in place back in the day that prevents dragons from entering Waterdeep. That's why the dragons, when they attack, they basically destroy the field wall because it's just beyond the walls. And a dragon cannot enter Waterdeep at all. It is like a super powerful spell, except for dragons touched with the dragon staff of Ageron. It was his personal rod that he used to allow allied dragons or whatever to enter Waterdeep. And you would know of the legends of Ageron, and you will also know about this as you were taken by Helum after the dragon attack, and you learned about the whole history. You both know more or less the same thing, but for different reasons, different approaches to the information. But yeah.
So what does it do?
It allows dragons to into Waterdeep.
Holy. Well, if it falls into the wrong hands, that's gonna be a problem, isn't it?
Yes.
There'll be dragons everywhere.
I mean, you are very much aware that this is a major water Davian artifact that should be probably with the Open Lord.
So there's that on top of the gold.
Well. So, what should we do? Spend the night here, get Lord Ronair to come in tomorrow and head straight to the crypt.
Well, I think if we just bring him here, it's, as you said, a bit suspicious if he's just moving around. People might have eyes on him. It's best to kind of keep.
Do you want to tell him to meet us straight at the cemetery?
Well, maybe I'm just trying to think of a way I can sneak him out of his house by turning him into a mouse.
You want to turn a nobleman into a mouse?
Well,
Do you know anything about noblemen?
maybe a cat then might be better.
Can you do that to others?
Well, I've never really tried it before, but I could give it a go. And then I could go to him as a cat, turn him into a cat. We could both go as cats and meet you at the City of the Dead. And then that way, no one would really know either of us as kind of. I mean, you guys, I'm assuming, could make your way through the sewers and stuff, probably a little bit more. You've got Lizzie, wherever she went. She's just like eating cheese somewhere in there.
No, she left.
Oh, she left, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
Here we are.
Well,
oh,
I know someone who knows their way through the sewers.
alright.
But
Yeah.
you're turned into stone.
Well,
He had a
someone,
brother.
someone very close to them.
Alright, yeah. Where are they?
Their home.
Where's their home?
Our home.
They're at our home.
Yes.
Right.
I told you, I think.
Oh, the,
Didn't
right.
I?
The young,
I thought I did.
boy.
Yeah, like Silas
He
is.
took a young boy
I thought
home.
he was his kid. It turned out he was his apprentice.
Okay.
Bit of a waste of time.
Protege.
Your father.
But he will know his way around the sewers.
How do we get him here?
Yeah.
It's almost as far as Lord Bernard's house.
No, I mean, but we can go to the.
Right.
We can all go to our home, and we have an entrance to the sewers directly from there.
But if we're just travelling to the City of the Dead, it's faster just to go straight to the City of the Dead, no? Isn't the Yawning Portal like somewhere here?
It is east from the castle. East from, so a bit east from where your finger is. Yeah, kind of like.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
Alright.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Take us to the City of the Dead.
Alright.
Make him looking conspicuous.
What about? Is he quite sneaky?
Well, he used to be part of the Xanatar crowd, I
Alright.
presume.
Does he know his way around? I assume.
I presume.
Alright. Because if you give me if you write a note, I could carry it in my mouth and then drop it with him on the way.
Alright.
But obviously, we probably want to wait and get a rest first, do we? Before we go out on this. Because I mean, the stress of all the things that went on and the things I saw today. I need a day nap because it's the morning.
Well, okay. Well, let's have some sleep, but let's put some watches on. I'll take the first one. Ah, they're already playing music downstairs. Fucking hell.
Are you supposed to sleep?
Keep it down.
So are you gonna take long rest?
Yeah.
Wait. Can you? Yeah. No.
I don't know. When did we rested at like?
You went there, yeah, like kind of like at midnight, and then you escaped. It's probably around like 4 in the morning now. 4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah, soon enough we'll be.
I mean, I guess we can just hang around and then long rest later.
Yeah, you can sleep if you wish.
Yeah.
Still not counts as a long rest.
We're gonna have to sleep.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Just for
gonna-
the
I mean,
sake of, we just want to kill time.
regardless
to-
of the
Okay,
long
so you're
rest
gonna kill
mechanic,
time,
I mean,
and
we have
then-
to sleep. I mean,
And
that's-
then
that's
eventually,
practice.
at about noon, or I don't know, you sleep for a few hours.
we could do. I mean, we could just reset back to the normal day cycle. We just,
Okay, so you want to reset back, so then you wake up at
fine,
10.
it's fine.
You have a few
We
hours
have-
of sleep. You wake up at 10. Anyone? So you're gonna be in trance, I guess.
I'm on a short rest, I guess, but I'm
Yeah,
going
you
may as
can
well
get,
do
you can do a short
stuff.
rest.
and I'm going
It's fine.
to. I wanted to do watches, so
No, I think
You
we'll
want to
check
do
that.
watches
Yeah,
out
yeah.
in the room,
yeah,
inside the room.
yeah, just
Okay.
looking at the window and.
Yeah.
Maybe go outside to the main room, like to see who's there. Like look from the veranda to see who's still like hanging around at like 5 in the morning. In the
No, at that time at that time of the night, there's almost no one there.
Okay.
People have gone.
So in that case, it's just gonna be in the
yeah.
room.
Is it possible to turn volume up?
Turn volume up. Is you need to just do the we
okay though, right?
Yeah, the volume's like pretty high on the mic thing.
it is depending on the voices. Like you, Joel, speak very quiet.
Yeah. Maybe give it a tiny crank. Just
My voice is fine. I hit the yellow.
Yellow.
This is just.
Genhorn hits the yellow.
Oi.
You can't hit the yellow even when you're trying to be loud.
Oi!
Also,
Direct your voice
yeah,
at it as well.
Yeah, no, you're further away.
I'm the furthest away.
There you go.
You gotta project your voice.
You gotta project. Alright, so in the
Against
morning,
my character.
you
protect, not project.
at 10, I'm gonna say 10 a.m. You wake up, you come out of your trance. You are all kind of like hanging around in the room, in one single room with 3 beds. So some people were just sleeping in the ground. Jalistad tells you that he will, when you like go to sleep for the night, he will actually go and report to the Open Lord. And if to use, so this he said before, like going to sleep, and he said to use Dernan as intermediary for communication. So you check with Dernan in case I leave you a message, and if you need to leave me a message, leave it with Dernan. I will check at least 3 times a day.
Okay. Understood.
Take care and stay safe. And he leaves. So you 4 essentially. You have 3 beds and you can like trance meditate on the ground. In the morning, you wake up to something more lively. There we go. You wake up to some tunes being played from downstairs as you all make your way into the tap room. You see there the usual crowd. You see some of the, so Dernan is already manning the bar. You see Bonnie kind of like walking about serving breakfast. You see 3 strings there, kind of like playing, but he's accompanied by another bard, apparently playing, that you recognize, and you, Patch, recognize. It's a large silver dragonborn, and one thing you notice is as you all like kind of like pile down the stairs to approach and order, or either look for a table or order at the bar. This dragonborn immediately like tells something to 3 strings and jumps off stage and makes a beeline for you. The silver scales, they give off a slight blue hue as the natural light hits them. Some of the scales, particularly around the collarbones, have been coated with gold, creating a layer of permanent jewelry. So it's like painted over. And you see a long maroon coat. And it's all embroidered with golden flowing patterns. There is a kind of like a translucent cape, and it is neatly affixed upon the back, clasped by a gold medallion with the letters LVM. Like really large. Well, readable, large. Engraved into it. And a hat. It has an exotic feather resting on the head. And you see there is under the coat there is a lyre that is held in place by a strap hanging on one side, and off to the shoulder the lute that he was playing with 3 strings. Sheathed at the waist, you see a long sword with an ornate scabbard. And he approaches you all, placing a chalice with a flourish that denotes certain familiarity with nobility and the etiquette of how to like act around. And you know this as one of the local bars, same as Matter in 3 strings, that would do the rounds in the like nobility circle and play at parties, play at events. He won even playing at the 7 Mask Theatre, and with the tip of a hat, looks at you all, clearing his throat.
I'm Lucius Montgomery Vanderbilt. Quite late, I must say, for you all to be rising for adventure this morning.
Who said anything about adventure?
Well, by the looks of you, and your accompaniment, and I kind of gesture towards Patch. Seems you're all set for adventure today, no?
What do you want?
Does anyone know this guy?
Patch, you know that Mr. Vanderbilt is the one that wrote a song about you.
It's my prop, please.
Oh yeah. Can I? Oh shit.
Is this guy
My
bothering
bag.
you?
Oh, that's
You
your
should bring
bag.
it.
Oh,
It's
wait.
behind the pillar.
Ooh, you got nice.
So basically, Patch is a stalker. That's what we're saying. Oh wow.
It didn't lose its tuning. There we go. Well, I've heard quite the tale going round about you gentlemen. Several things I've picked up. And I must say I'm quite interested.
You're making a bit too much noise for our liking. Can you keep your voice down, please?
Well, your tales will be sung loudly and proudly from stages all throughout the realm, so you should get used to hearing your name bellowed from the halls.
This guy's the
It's
worst.
nice hearing tales, isn't it?
I should hope so.
Yeah, tales you're never really a part of.
Well, that didn't stop you taking the revenue from your tales and buying yourself up as a fancy spyglass, I heard. So. Tales can be quite lucrative, and that is why I am here. Please, join me for breakfast. I gestured to a table that's already got plates.
Oh,
of
you already sat
food.
down at this point, are we?
No, you were piling down from
Oh,
the
we were
stairs,
piling
and this
down, okay.
person just jumps off stage and beeline towards you.
What sort of breakfast have you got?
Well, I had a word and I heard that you quite like sausages.
Maybe.
So, that big plate of sausages, just for you, Genhorn.
Oh, I won't say no to sausages. Thank you very much.
Are you a bit?
They're
Yeah,
like
better with
sausages
names
and
now.
mashed potato.
I've done my due diligence of research. Some of you turn up less information than others, and I kind of give Kath a little bit of an eye.
Did you do that research I told you about last time?
You told me many things last time, and not all of them were kind, I must say, but we're under the bridge now.
This. Where is this at the moment?
In the lead box. I assume that you said that you would put it in the
You're
lead
just carrying it
box.
around still.
You're just going around.
We left it.
Alexa!
on the floor. What do you know about this bard? He said the
How
box
does he know
was-
I've got it?
I assume that the moment you
No.
left the room, you put it by the lead
Yeah.
box.
I gave you a list of names last time.
Well, fruitless they turned out to be, your names.
I mean,
Half of them I pee freely. Come on, don't think of me some kind of fool.
they were the names of everyone that died.
Well, that's an unfortunate name. I thought it was a cruel joke.
I said to you last time when you were playing your song
Well,
about me.
my condolences to the Freely family. I shall make amends next time I play that magnificent ballad.
Did you include him in the next song?
Well, I was told to cut down the stanzas significantly. Said 31 stanzas was too many for a short theatre production. Brutes. Anyway, please enjoy the food and the wine. Some may say it's a little early for a tipple, but I take out my chalice and it's got like a sour face kind of on one side of it. Pour a bit of wine into it, take a sip. I'm not one to question the time of day when it comes to enjoying oneself.
He talks an awful lot. No, it's really hard to send someone like this on there.
So-
What do you want?
Well, your deeds, your marvelous, fantastic deeds, have not gone unnoticed, of course, in this city. Caused quite a stir, I must say. Mert has fine things to tell of you, Arian. Why, only the other week I was with him at one of our little soirees, and he spoke highly. You know the old phrase, the butler did it? Well, that seems to be the case day by day now. Involved in almost everything, aren't you?
So what are you, some kind of like concubine then or something?
I'm a teller of tales, a writer
And he's
of
dropped
prose. He's not far from the truth, I must say. But I know you are, and I will lower my voice and kind of lean in, on the hunt for gold. Something I care little about, so you need not worry there. But the story...
Inside check.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's like 20 something. 22, I think.
Looking at, like, the finery that I'm wearing, you can tell that, you know, gold has been...
You love gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is something that comes with ease. You know, it's not
Yeah.
something that's, like, sought after, it's...
One thing that you notice, Genhorn, is there is an issue, which is this type of very urban personality is not something you're quite familiar with, and their motives and whatnot. So even though you're already high, you're like, if you're not in for the goal, you're in for the stories. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but appears sincere.
Very well.
I only wish to tell your tale. On the stages throughout the realms, exclusive rights, shall we say, to the adventures, to the lost millions.
Keep your voice down.
What do we get out of this?
Fame? But if that is not to your liking, more gold, a cut of the revenue that the play produces, perhaps. Friends in high places, women, men, anything you desire, really, can be yours.
Know what I like?
With the right words.
I like being alive, and I don't think fame nor any cuts of your gold are gonna keep me alive.
Maybe not my gold, but perhaps a tune may restore some vigor.
Alright, bring it on.
I have been known to aid some of the noble houses into battle. A rousing melody to keep their spirits high at times. Reinforce that will. I only wish to accompany you. Learn your strengths, your weaknesses, turn them into powerful, powerful tunes that will resonate throughout the kingdoms for many a century.
Remember how Silas was quite sort of like, didn't talk very much?
Where is Silas? I have a little
missed
ditty
that
that
so
I've
much.
written.
Silas would have absolutely hated this guy.
Balls of red and a sour face.
Oh, God.
That was the start of it. Haven't quite captured his powerful essence.
Is that Silas you're singing about?
A few choice words, perhaps.
Right, so
You had a sour face, you got that one right.
you,
Some would
I
say.
think I've been around here for a few months now. I think I got the idea how this works now. You have to pay the person and they leave, yeah?
Mighty boy, I do not
Yes.
think.
Yeah, it's five gold. Good day. Thank you.
This might just about cover the cost of the wine. Look,
Who you with?
who am I with?
Yes, who you with? There's a lot of people interested in what's going on here. Who you with?
I've never seen him with anyone.
Well,
He's always alone.
this isn't the first time someone has tried to pay me to leave, I must say, but...
I wish that that ever happened to me.
I come purely out of a thirst for inspiration. I'm sure you are aware of
I'm gonna write to you something.
great musicians throughout our fair city's history. Cartiel Grey, for instance, I was with him for a spell. Did you catch his plays?
Can't show
We
you.
haven't been around for long.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'm new to the city.
in Flight of the Pegasus, I who suggested the harmonic triplicates throughout the third stanza. I have been instrumental in some of the great moments throughout this city's musical history over the last few decades. I'm with all who stand for a brighter cultural elegance within Waterdeep.
No, I don't think you've done your research here, mate.
Oh, Patch.
You know I'm not one for fame, so I don't know why you're barking up the wrong tree.
No, but you should know of all people that the small but elegant poem I wrote about your great success in the field ward brought crowds of people to their knees with tears.
Yeah, over my name. None of theirs.
At your request, your name was never mentioned.
Here's a fake story.
Is that where Is that where the Dragon Slayer nickname came
Do you have to pay him right now?
He's not gonna see it. Look. Where you trying to go?
Silence. Right, silence.
I keep playing, but in the silence.
No, that was silence.
I grab it. Just grab the strings.
Look, we've been trying to be under the radar here. You're a lad, man.
I could play the part.
There's going to be no story we'd want telling after this.
No story you want telling, you Luddite. Look, I know you. One who seeks to mask their face from their successes, that wears their medallions as a reminder of the stoic battles they fought and a reminder of those who lost their lives. Mr. Freely, for instance. However, why
It was
would
pronounced
some...
Freely.
I will take note. But if you weren't in this for drawn to flame like a moth to the light, then why have you banded with these people?
I've come to help 'em.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure the money has run dry and you want just a little bit of that golden liquid to flow your way once again.
Look at me. Do I look like the sort of guy who wants money?
Well, that armor could do with a polish, and I assume that doesn't come for free.
Oh, he's
That's why
already,
I don't do it.
he's already got
It's not polished.
he's already got some money. He's all right.
Look,
What if, Mr.
you may call me... Well, Lucius Montgomery Vanderbilt is a bit long. My friends call me Monty, or Lucy. Just, please, don't call me boring.
Nice to meet you, boring.
I cast Gift of the Gab, and
What?
I...
Gift of the Gab? What is that?
So it's a second level
Oh,
spell.
okay.
You may call me Monty, I say, and you all forget that I even said the word boring.
Right, so, Mondi.
Does that work? No save.
No save. Anyone within a radius forgets what I said in the last 6 seconds.
Well, like the Lord November would have saved a lot of effort if he had just had the spell handy.
Look,
I got a counter proposition, Mr. Monty.
by all means, a
Could
little
you,
bargaining.
could you? I mean, you want to keep us fame. Could you do like the opposite? Could you just like invent characters, like create other heroes of this story, so that we are not
Ooh.
as seen, we're forgotten, we're
A little bit more creative license in the proceedings. I mean, I consider myself a weaver of tales. I'm sure I could spin a few webs.
I mean, I'd be more interested in that.
There was no half-elf in the party, you're mistaken. It was a dwarf. To your eyes they were taken. His fiery red beard, his tiny little hat, plump little legs, that dwarf, he was so fat. How could you forget the dwarf? Something...
Yeah. I mean, I always thought dwarves are cool. Yeah.
Never
a little angry.
had a friend that was a dwarf, I don't think. No.
Well, according to the tale now, you spent nary a 10-day with a dwarf.
Oh.
A dwarf named Jeff.
Don't like that. No.
Jerome. Do you have another name?
I probably don't want to give that name there.
Tech.
A dwarf named Tech.
Don't think of it backwards.
What about just call him Tick?
Tick. I get Tick. Tick and Genhorn. The Adventures. Yeah. I gotta find this guy now. Where do you think he is?
He is in the hearts and minds of any who hear the tale.
Right, this is getting deep.
Arian, I've seen you around. You know how these things work.
These things.
The meddlings of the beating heart of the city. Those with the coin.
I have seen you around before, yes. And I understand why you're here. What I'm trying to ponder is whether it makes sense for us to trust you at this point. You want
I
a tale,
understand that.
we don't yet have a tale.
I don't yet have a tale of my own. Unfortunately, Mr. Porre saw to that the moment he declined prior my invitation to make the story of the Field Wards into a gripping ballad. And so here I am again, on my knees, and I get down at the table, begging you, please do not take this one away from me, not again.
Is there a lot of people around at this point in time, or?
There are people that are coming to, yeah. And nearby, people are kind of like looking over and smiling at the proceedings and just shaking their heads. Keep in mind that his voice projects, so whereas yours is more like subdued, and particularly with your predicament. So people are only hearing his side of the conversations, probably.
Oh, the whole like stealthy elements today, I think, just went into the bin.
Stealth, you say? Oh, I can be quiet. I can be...
Prove it. Be quiet for 2 minutes. So what I was saying was, yeah, I think maybe we just all go down the underneath way to the place we were going to go to pick up the guy, and then that's probably the safer way for together at this point in time. Now that we've got, yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you continuing
Well,
the
I don't-
previous conversation?
I mean, we're much closer to where we want to be than where home is. Why don't you just go get the Lord, and then we'll just meet you there.
All right, I'll just bring him through the sewers.
He's literally right there. He's still listening. He's not talking, but he's listening.
Playing slightly with the loot, you can tell, thinking, no, not quite that, but something else.
Can we just come to a decision about this? What
do
would
you
Niall
mean?
say?
What about?
You want us in on the group.
Oh, I thought you just wanted to sit with us for breakfast.
Niall, yes. I already have
Watch very carefully what your
a
next
little
few
bit
words
of a
are.
ditty written to immortalise his great service to this city. I call it Leaves Fall in the Winter Garden. Something maybe in D minor.
He's not
I think your lute is out of tune.
You might want to go to his family before you release that one.
I've already spoken to them, they're very happy with it. They said their son was a great hero and it would be an honour for him to be immortalised.
Well, let's hear it.
Hmm?
Let's hear it.
No, it's very early.
Do you do like a drum beat or something?
Leaves fall in the winter garden.
So how are we going to do this?
Early stages.
How does this-
Essentially, this guy looks like he's going to
Strong
follow us
start.
around the whole day. So I don't know. Do you want to let him come,
Something
or
with
do
the
we just
titular
knock him
line.
out and leave him in the bin somewhere?
Starting with the titular phrase.
How do you normally...
It reinforces it.
This has never happened to me before. I've never had to deal with this kind of person.
you were very accepting.
I thought I was a very lenient person towards other people, but this guy is getting on my nerves.
Tall as a tree
Oh god.
and smells of the earth.
Smells of weed.
And
I'll give you that for free.
weed. He does smell a bit like weed.
Weed?
No, weed. Urine. Horse.
I mean, I'm just used to him by now.
So how does it work? Someone wants to come in the group. You accepted me and I appreciate it, but how does it normally work?
Well, to be honest with you, we kind of just came together in a bar, and then other people have just kind of come in from people we know, but we don't really know anyone that knows you.
Hooray.
I mean, you say
I'm not a good person to vouch for you, mate.
I don't really think he likes you.
We have a few artistic disagreements. But we
Right.
are good friends.
Let's just take
We're
away
friends.
the whatever that is for a minute. Musical box of annoyance.
It's called a lute, my dear boy.
Okay, if you say so. What can you bring to the table? This is an interview now, let's say.
An interview? Well, oh, I can't say I prepared a speech.
No, we don't want a speech. Right, start off. Who have you recently worked with?
All of the greats, really. You know, first choice viola player
But no,
for
no,
the
no,
Seven
no, no,
Masks
no, no,
Theatre.
no. If you want to come in on an adventure, then what recent adventures have you been on?
Well,
I think we'll find his credentials lacking in that area.
Right.
yes, unfortunately, I've been a slave to the city and its lackluster musical heartbeat, just trying to resuscitate that. in
So
recent
consider
years.
you an intern level entry for this team then.
I think you'll find that I graduated from the College of Law with a distinction. My understanding of the arcane arts, whilst not put into practice too often, is high.
Wow, that is an adjective.
I've got a good question. I ain't gonna write songs if you're dead.
Well, you see, that is where you'll come in. Offer me maybe a port in the storm of adventure, something to lay my ship, protected against the rocky waves that some may send my way.
It's giving me a headache just the listening to the talking. It's just use the words. Don't. What do you want?
I've expressed that clearly. Was the breakfast not enough?
You want to buy us breakfast.
And I have succeeded.
Well,
He
good
wants
work.
to come along. He is an artist that seeks to make his debut. as
So
an
you want to
adventurer.
come along and you want to get the story, and then you want to sing the story. Okay, and write your own theme tune as well.
You are sharper than perhaps some of my penned lyrics have given credit.
You know, our chances of coming out of this alive now are probably as slim as they've ever been. You could have
All
possibly
great
come at a worse
artists
time.
must suffer for their work. And I'm willing to suffer.
I'll allow it.
Well,
He's got my vote.
I'm going to be honest with you. Well, Arian turned up, and this guy turns up with like a bow and arrow and stuff. Then Pat turns up with that massive.
I have a sword! I pull out the sword.
I mean,
And I assure you, I have held this before.
Does it look like a good swordsman?
Are you trying to look like a good swordsman or just?
It's not a rapier, it's a long sword, so it's not like I'm doing like rapier, like...
Are you like holding it limp wristed and
Yeah,
like,
Are you-
a little bit
holding it
limp-wristed.
properly,
It's
or-
kind of like pointed downwards.
Can I try?
Okay, so you would
elegantly, not pathetically?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
sort of with like a kind of...
you definitely
Grace.
see this as a fencing pose. You two, Patch, familiar with the nobility of Waterdeep, and you see this as a not very utilitarian or pragmatic way of holding a sword, but you know about the practice, right?
Mhm.
It's just like, yeah, that's not how you kill someone. That's for show.
Can I try like hit the sword downwards? at his
Our
hand?
souls are not out at the moment. I mean,
You have a halberd.
Yeah,
just use your
Are
knife.
you just having
Use
breakfast
your
with your
knife and
halberd?
Just do it with your knife.
just a quick spin.
No, your halberd. Keep in mind, it's massive. You always have to like lean it against something when you're like, sitting down. And having,
Reach back.
you're not just having breakfast with the halberd just poking out your back like that.
Alright, in that case, can I get whatever I'm drinking from
Yeah.
and just slam it into his sword, just see if it falls out of his hand?
Sure. Make an improvised weapon attack against your proficiency and dexterity.
Using the black dice.
Proficiency 3, dexterity 3, so 15.
15.
So I had an 8.
Improvise is
What is
what?
it? Improvise.
Improvise is just
Strength.
it's just strength.
Before.
Okay. So you go with a lot of strength, and he definitely goes shunk, like spins it, just give it like a twirl, and you go past it. You cannot hit it.
Table manners, my dear boy. You'll spill it. That was expensive wine.
So
We can move it.
he can move his sword out of the way. with Pat.
That's good. You want it to move into things.
What else have you got?
I mean, kind of thing would you like to see?
Can you make us all disappear?
I mean, no.
Right.
Why would I want my audience to disappear? I would like them to gather around me for ages gone by.
Do you know Neverember?
Yes. Wait, which one? His father does not care for me.
Oh, his son. Does he like you?
He
That
and
might
I
be
have
important for the,
shared a few chalices of choice wine, I must say.
I mean, I think he's done that with everyone, so that's not really.
Yes, I know of him and his small toy boy that he carries around. Fruin, I believe it was, who you rescued on the start of your daring adventure. Not you. You weren't there yet. Or you. In fact, I'm surprised to see you here at all. I had not been... Oh, thank you.
Can I have it? Have a play?
No, your fingers are grubby.
That's full of sausage.
Oh wow, you have a fur, like, so yes, you do this, it's just that fur will just get nastier and nastier over time, as you can say.
But yes, me and Lord Neverember have played a few tunes together, I must say.
I mean, you're very familiar. You didn't know until it broke the news in the newspapers, in the broadsheet, that the fact about the embezzlement of the gold with the riots. Obviously, you took the part of the rioters. So yeah, but you are very familiar with like Neverember's career and history.
Think you vouch for you?
Oh, yes, of course. In fact, you know, when this whole thing came through and he made mention of the gold, it was part of my inspiration to seek all of you out. He spoke highly of your tales of his rescue.
Wait, so Renee's been going around telling people about the gold?
No, I had to ply him a little bit with a few decadent liquids.
This guy does not seem trustworthy at all. But also, I'm kind of worried that now he knows this, we should keep him with us just to keep his mouth shut.
I mean, the truth is, we're all going to die. So if he's stupid enough to join us, I mean, it's his problem. We probably could use a pair of hands. I
Or
don't
a
care.
human shield. I like your thinking. Yeah, you can come along. You can stand at the front.
Again, not touching.
Well, if you don't want to come along.
So when I came into the group, I said something like, "Gross." I said something like, "I'm here. I'm gonna look after you guys. I'm gonna try to protect you." I feel like you're saying we should protect you. You'll come along to write tales, and then if we keep you alive,
I can offer protection if that is what you need, but not in the brutalist kind of way that someone dressed so boldly as yourself may offer. Music, the arcane, they weave together and resonate in a way that maybe your pedestrian ears may not understand, but you can feel the effects nonetheless. I can assure you of that. I can make your heart race, and therefore your hands race. I can make your enemies fall.
What else can you make race?
A horse, if I slap it on the rear with my sword.
Okay, you're into some weird shit.
Yeah, this guy.
Look,
if I'm being pinned down
Right.
in a corner, two
Let's play it.
fatties on me, he's on the floor. He's half a mile away because he's a quick
a little
brother.
bit of role play. Okay, I will indulge. I
Is-
will indulge.
He's stuck in a bit of mud. What? There's a door behind you, or there's death facing you in front of you. What are you gonna do? You gonna run? Or are you gonna try get me out of my corner? You gonna try get him off the floor?
Let me think. Let me think. I could entrance the two fatties, as you say, lying on top of you in a hypnotic rhythm that would leave them in a stupor long enough for you to free yourself and stand by my side valiantly. As we then proceed over to Genhorn. What was his situation, did you say?
He's knocked his head on the floor. It's something that
Happens a lot.
Does it?
I could rouse him with a few lifting words to make his consciousness a
Are
little
we?
clearer.
What are we talking about? It sounds a bit like an orgy from what.
He's half a mile away.
I will happily involve myself in that as well, if that is your fancy. He's
Well-
half a mile away. We could slow him down tremendously.
Can you communicate? Can you tell him we're in trouble?
My voice can bellow from any stage.
He's a drow. Can you help him?
Oh man!
My dear
Do you
boy, I'm
actually
afraid
know
some
that?
things are beyond repair.
I know it's like well, I'm very confused about it because
So it's
I
the
think-
first time I brought it up was like,
No, that was a
That's fine.
joke. That was
Yeah.
a joke that everyone kept accusing him of being a drow, and you were like, "Why? You didn't believe it?" So you're like, "Why are people calling him a drow?"
I thought that was part of my story to tell the other guys, try to get them on our side.
No, I think we discussed it like out of character.
But I've genuinely
Yeah.
questioned it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Am I the
That's
only
fine.
one that actually knows?
Yeah.
I think so. We've got a thing. It's our little secret.
Ours and pretty much everyone. I think who knows.
So would you say? Because my patience is thinning slightly at your repeated line of questioning.
I think it's
Seems to
crazy,
be-
mate. I think you're gonna get yourself killed. But I was more than willing to go get someone else to join us in the fray. So it's up to you if you want to die.
I intend not to die.
Can you, I think we're gonna have to get Neverember in on this, and
Well, he wants to go and get.
considering where we're going next, I think we need a bit of permission, or for myself as well, because you don't know me.
Which would be where after the sewers, may I inquire?
If you get permission, we can pull me
Well-
tire.
I think we'll keep this on a strictly need to know basis. And right now, you don't really need to know, but you can follow along and not play ukulele.
Well, if I'm to be any use, the rhythms must flow, I'm afraid.
But not all the time, though, right?
I cannot stifle inspiration when it strikes. But
How about this?
should it prove my commitment to the tales that I will tell, my hands will restrain themselves from caressing the strings on which my legacies will be wrote.
If you come along and you at any point annoy us too much, then you give Pat permission to hit you in the head with his big stick.
I'm sure he'd be more than happy to.
Cool. Well, that's good enough for me.
What do you make of it, Aaron?
I think his intentions are pure. I think his reasons for coming with us, I don't fully understand, but I don't expect to. But I think they're fine enough.
Take off my hat and do like a flourish of a bow in Aaron's direction. Noble as ever.
I'm sure we'll find use for him.
Does we have any of that paper left? I think we've got one sheet left, right?
What kind of paper?
The aeroplane paper.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you have any paper? Normal paper?
Normal paper. I don't know if I do.
Actually, maybe use her.
I have a few sheets that I use to scroll down. over.
Yeah, one to spare, perhaps.
He's got a bit of paper with a list of names on it. You still got that one?
Welcome to the team.
Look, I could not read your chicken scratch handwriting for the life of me.
I'm gonna start writing something.
So,
I had to learn to write with my left hand as well. My right hand's buggered.
I've still got the feathers in it, I see. An artistic choice or purely medical?
I mean, it's fused to my skin, so I can't exactly pull them off.
If you say so. We all carry our grim reminders. How's the paper?
I'm writing down. That's just I'm trying to hide what I'm writing. Yep, that's good. Yeah, it
No, you
stays.
need ink and
Wow.
an inkwell.
Ah, yeah,
Inkwell
I'll-
and pen.
I'll put 'em
Okay. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so you keep writing. What are you doing?
Right. Well, what we're doing then? Are we all heading up?
Could I get do you think you can turn him into something?
Well, I don't. I mean, I was thinking about it just now. I don't know if he's going to be actually
Otherwise, we can all go there and find him.
Might as well
At
just-
this point in time,
Oh
we're
yeah, we can. I mean,
we got a bar singing our praises. Everybody fucking knows we're here.
yeah, that's true.
I haven't uttered a single melody.
Yeah, it's not really your fault.
We try and take the back streets and keep out of sight. Though, I think might be a good
We
idea.
can send him.
After last time.
We can send him.
Actually, yeah, like that. That'd be his first assignment.
And then
Quest!
And then we'll know if he gets the approval at the same time. By Neverember.
You'll have to tell me where, though, because previously I was on a need-to-know basis. I believe this is the need to know? Yes?
That is correct. We need you to go see your good old friend, Mr. Well, Lord, rather, Renee.
Ah, yes.
Yes. And you will tell Lord Renee that you come on our behalf and that he should meet us in front of. Should we tell him the graveyard or the
No.
crypt?
Tell him to meet us where his family has.
Tell us to meet us by the shade of a large tree.
The talking tree.
Okay, well that's. Yeah. Okay.
Why do we have to be cryptic about this?
Well, just in case he gets killed or something and stopped like along the way.
The cryptic crypt. I like it.
Okay, he already knows too much. So
Right, kill him.
if you're gonna achieve that, you'll have a great adventure to tell.
I mean, such mundane messenger work I would usually find beneath myself, but if it proves my value to you, then I will undertake this quest with vigor and excitement, or at least as much as I can muster. Erin, would you care to accompany me? I'm sure Renee would be very fond to see your face again.
There's a problem that you can't be seen.
Yeah, we're
You
trying,
don't matter. You can't be seen.
we're trying to keep our faces not on the streets at the moment. Because people like you making it too
And I'd
obvious.
rather he didn't go.
It seems that people already know where we are.
Well, I mean, if that's the
He was
case,
a
then we should all go to see Lord Ryanair. I'd rather we didn't split. The
Yeah.
only reason why you're splitting is because we just met you.
But we
Well,
don't
I
really
have done
care if you die.
my
No
fair
offence.
share of due diligence to find you all. It was not easy, I must say.
We should all go.
Fine. But I'm bringing these sausages with me.
All right, fine. Let's all go.
Okay. There are, at this hour, particularly in the castle wall, at this time in the morning, there are plenty of drays and coaches.
I was about to say, as we get out, I'll
You
call her. I have one waiting.
you have one waiting. Okay.
We let one guy in.
You see a guy there with a beard, a massive kind of like robe with a hooded thing, kind of like it is snowing lightly, and it's kind of like there. And says, "About time. It's cold out here. Shall we be on the move?"
Yes.
Jump in.
I flip him the 5 gold that Genhorn gave me.
Okay, as you how it goes. Oh, sorry, my lord. At your service.
Pocket's a little warmer now.
Oh yes, very much so. Do you need entertainment while we get there?
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I'm more than capable of providing.
Of course, my lord, of course.
Please.
Where are we going?
Lord Renair's house, I believe.
Oh,
sorry.
Stay.
Lord Renair's house, I believe.
Sure.
Second assignment. You have to kill him afterwards.
How's your wife?
Oh, she's all right. Working at the fish market down in Dogwood.
Could I do it slowly? Perhaps just leave him outside for a few hours. These are new gloves.
Yeah. I think choking him is probably best.
But he's so hairy. Fine. I jest. A little gallows human. Shall we go?
I almost.
Well,
almost
you
smile.
are arriving.
I believe we never thought of this before. Taking a goddamn coach.
You are now arriving at the
Here for
very
weeks.
to you, well, to everyone really, very familiar René estate, where he has the beautiful garden outside. Obviously, the gardener Dalakar is no longer taking care of it, but presumably they have another gardener. They have the raised set of semicircular stairs leading into a landing with columns, like Greek style, I guess, columns with an awning, and the double doors leading into this really big 3-story manor.
Alright, right, you guys, you stay in the car, yeah, you stay in there, I'll go in.
Where should I go in now? We came all the way here. What are we gonna do in the carriage?
Well, I'm only going to be a minute, I'll go and get.
Oh.
Well, it's just going to be a bit overwhelming, all these people that he barely
I
recognises.
thought I was speaking to Renee to verify
Oh,
my
no.
credentials.
Well,
Let's all go to speak to him. We're all here.
fine, alright. Is there any snow slums? There's like snow on the side of the road and stuff?
Yeah, there's snow that is normally like all piled up to the sides of the road.
I'll take after the kind of sort of Miles thing, get a bit of snow just to try and clean my.
Yeah. Okay, so you use snow to try and clean yourself up a bit.
Yeah, that's good. Right.
Explain the urine smell.
Oh.
Alexa.
Could be a bell.
Could have like a pull bell.
Yeah, it could have a pull bell, but it is.
Have you ever met Lord Renee before?
Yes, I have briefly.
Alright.
The door opens, and it is one of the main servant girls that you saw like first time when you were here with Milia Niall. So it's only you that recognizes her, but not you, Patch, but you, Arian, and you, Lucius, both recognize. You've been here a few times. You particularly are familiar with the with the service of all the many noble houses, as you arrange. As master of the house, you arrange, and essentially the overseer of the service. And she goes, "Oh, Arian, good to see you again." Okay. Oh, I don't know. Yes.
We're here to speak with the master.
Oh, the master. Yes, of course. Oh, I remember you.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, how's it going?
Yes. Looks around. Oh, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't get too excited. She's paid as well.
And she opens the door. Please wait in the reception area. And there is this beautiful reception area with
Dashed
a
a
little
lot of
like
those
water
dashes.
fountain, kind of like indoors plants, and she mutters a word, and someone brings like a tray of with a pitcher of water, some glasses, and some snacks, fruits mostly. Just puts it there. You kind of like relax there for like 5 minutes, and after a while, Lord René appears. Hello. This is a strange gathering. Ganholm, Keth, Arian. Are you now with Lucius?
Hello, Renee. Good morning. Are we supposed to make the wine ourselves? They provided water and grapes.
I think
Patch.
I recognize you, but sorry.
Patch.
Patch. Okay.
He's the
How
dragon slayer.
did you all get to? Where's there were a few more of you. Where's Niall and,
Yeah,
and Millie?
unfortunately,
Tiefling.
we've had some losses in the party.
It's a long story.
Terribly sorry. And how can I help you? Are you all like working together now?
Yeah, well, you know, the last time we were together and we went into your family crypt.
Oh, yes, I remember when you were after the clues about why I had been kidnapped, and he plays around with the locket.
Well,
I immediately take out a piece of paper and a quill and just start like writing down everything that's being said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what they took from my locker and my mother's crypt. Yes, I remember.
Does Druidcraft, like you can light candles and stuff, would it like set fire to paper?
No.
Well,
You could with prestidigitation, but not with.
I hope you don't have a busy morning, Lord O'Neill, but we have
Well, unfortunately, mostly these days I'm staying here, even though the riots are, for the most part, contained now. I don't have the people outside anymore constantly complaining about my father's gold. I still don't feel as safe to go around, and the situation is not really good. So.
But then you'd be delighted to go out for a little wander with
Oh
us.
yes, of course. Well, how can I help you?
Well, yes, we would have to pay yet another visit to your family's crypt if you would be so kind.
My family's. I thought that you had found out what you were looking for.
Well, it appears we don't have all of the answers.
Okay. Well, if it does help, I mean, I heard from the Overlord. I was at the dinner the other day, and Mert was there, and they were mentioning the work you're also doing, Arion. I just didn't know that he was the same as them. I thought he was like independent. But in any case, of course, if you are behind this, the people of Waterdeep deserves closure, and I totally understand that they would take their anger against me, even though I am as angry with my father as they are. So if there's anything I can do to help you in this endeavor, I will certainly will. So my coat, my sword.
Rene, there is one thing you could do. These lovely gentlemen wish to verify my credentials as...
Oh, Lucius, I thought... Wait, are you also running with them now?
Well...
I thought that you... I mean, you know that you cannot really believe that Cartier was, involved in all of that. You don't need to risk yourself.
You should...
Fame can come to you by playing about other people's exploits.
I have thought long and hard, and this is my calling. My muses surround me, and they wish to know if I am genuine in my pursuits of the arts, and not, I presume, the gold that your father so rudely snatched away.
Do you understand that these people are actually doing some incredibly dangerous business?
We told him that.
It's crazy enough to want to die.
Danger is subjective.
Perhaps the winds are cold.
You know they use prop swords on the stage, and some may perceive that danger to be real when they're in the audience and they're transfixed by what they see. Danger is merely how you choose to perceive it, and I choose to be a foil.
I think I'm already getting a headache from him being around.
Well, I've heard you bash your head on the floor constantly, so how about that?
I really don't know.
I
where
cast
these
Gift of the
stories-
Gab again.
What are we talking about? Monty, I hope you know what you're doing. I'll try and protect you. These people have a knack for getting into really dangerous situations and getting out of them alive. But they also suffer losses, as they just said about
It's okay.
Niall with and Millicent and the Tiflin person. I can't remember his name now.
We told them already, we don't carry any dead weight.
Well, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Stay behind me.
Just promise me one thing. Should I fall in the line of duty, let them write prose about me.
I'm sure.
And a statue!
I mean, the prose can be arranged. I'm sure Floon, as fond as he is of you, will be more than happy. And you know what? Better he doesn't know you are in this now.
How is that?
He will go
delicate flower?
mad with fear for your life. Anyway, why don't we just?
Yeah, this is getting a bit too much.
At that,
Ganhorn is an aspiring writer. I think he could write.
you see another.
I don't think those big meaty hands could hold a pen.
They do large pens.
Like those novelty ones. They sell down by the docks.
If we see a hole at some point,
Why? For your hands to hold a quill, you need to come from a griffin. Sorry. Distasteful.
Let's
joke.
be an
You see
hour.
another person coming in that you immediately recognize as the butler, and kind of like leans and whispers something in his ear. Worry not. This is something I must do. I must atone for my father's sins, and these good people are doing what others cannot, putting their lives in the line. I will do my part. Just go and tell them. I won't be there tonight. And he comes out. Please, let's go. Coach, oh, there's just one there.
Just one quick other thing, like just to the side. So
Well, we're all there.
I know, but I'm just like, you know,
You're pushing who aside?
René just kind
René.
of like, yeah.
He, as soon as you push him aside, he's like,
Just a quick word, sorry, Richard, just over here.
It looks so awkward in the
We're all just waiting for you, and you're like,
We're like,
what are you doing?
Just quickly, I show them the list of names that I've got from those lords that we rescued.
Okay.
So these people here, do you know these?
Wait, the list of names from Manchus.
No, the list of names from the people that we rescued from the Xanatars.
Oh, the one the
The lords that we.
I know them all.
And they all kind of they got some sort of sway and things all around here.
They're mostly trading partners, some smaller nobility,
Okay.
mostly some guild sway, if you will.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, they all owe me a favour now, so after this is done, let's talk.
Sure. Careful with this, Jew. They are snakes.
Mm.
Not like literal snakes. I know that you sometimes. I need to choose my words carefully with you. They're not to be trusted.
Okay. Right. Thank you for that bit of warning. Let's.
Let's
Yep.
join the others now. You awkwardly walks around you.
I mean,
You were like standing like
Yeah.
3 meters away.
you flash it. You listen.
It's
to
more
names,
just-
and you-
Is he showing him his power? You did say he was around.
if he shows you the arms, just try to encourage him. Okay, you know, you gotta start somewhere, until you build your confidence and your art gets better.
This camera keeps falling out.
And as you come out, the coach is there. Oh, you're there. Fancy morning for a. This is getting interesting. Where to now?
Yep, to the City of the Dead, please.
Oh, to pay respects.
Yes, indeed.
Kill him for. And goes.
It's like the fullest carriage as well.
Oh, René, if I may be so forward to ask, I mean, I used to work in many, back in the day, I used to do a lot of boring god work for many parties. So what's the one going on tonight that I overheard you talking about?
It's just a meeting with some lords. They're deciding some things. Apparently I am there as a representative of some interest that I have no interest in representing, but I do my duty.
Okay.
Worry. You don't have to worry about anything. It's noble business.
Is there any way we can help?
No, but I will let you know what is decided in this meeting, as it may interest you, since you had run-ins with the parties involved.
It's about the.
It's about a certain estate here that you, as far as I learned, were involved in setting off a series of events. I ended up with the devil rampaging around.
Ah, the calamity of the Castlanters, yeah.
Yes. Some lords, the magistrates, they are trying to build. They're trying to build a case. It is proving very hard. They already have sway and finances to back them. They say the devil was brought on by interlopers, and it was not theirs. I am there as a witness to actually represent the good name of the only people that have been tied to the event, Wintergarden, because of his connection to the Blackstaff.
So, no one's asked us to speak.
It is, for the moment, beyond those levels. Eventually, if this becomes more of a problem, I'm pretty sure that you'll be called as potential witnesses.
You wouldn't have to know if any people sort of representing on the Castellanter side, would you?
The Castellanters are represented by some of the best lawyers. Wasn't the old word for lawyers?
Arbitrators? Or?
Yeah, arbitrators in Waterdeep. At least the ones the money can buy. I don't think you don't have to worry about this. I am doing my part to ensure that your name is not dragged along the mud for this situation, particularly the name of Niall within Wintergarden. He died for this. The Blackstaff is incensed that the person that brought Manchun to justice is now being accused of such evil things just to clear the Castellanter name. We'll try our best, but the Blackstaff is young and she doesn't understand politics.
What if the people that were helping the Castellanters disappeared? I mean,
that would certainly not help when there is already a case that is pitting you against them. That would be, in fact, very unhelpful. That would prove their point entirely.
Do you want to be, you thinking after this, you want to be some kind of debt collector, mean guy?
what?
You go around with your list of names now trying to collect some debts.
Oh no.
Threatening people to disappear. I just wonder if you're aspiring to be.
Not at all. I just trying to right some wrongs that I've seen in the city, and there seems to be people that have more than others and have some power, and maybe if they owe me, they can use that to help a few other people. But then you get people like the Castellanters who will happily abuse their power and money and drag people like Niall's name through the mud. And
Deep. Just an observation every day, looking at more and more threatening.
No good deed goes without payment, I say. You are a little more city savvy than I gave you credit for.
well, you've been learning a lot by watching everyone else.
How about just for the benefit of old Rennie here, before he goes to his big meeting tonight, you rehash the story of the Castellanter's evening. I'll just listen quietly and take a few notes as we go about our journey. How does that?
I mean, I wasn't really there in person.
Boring. Next. What about you, Kev?
What would help now Within's case?
Burn.
You understand how law works at the
Oh,
upper
yes.
echelons. It's just whoever vouches, whoever decide they believe one side over the other. That's all that matters. The nobles that they can buy, they have a number that will vouch for them, of course. There are others that either they're enemies or truly genuine people that believe the case against them, and they will vote for prosecuting them. To be honest, the public case, this has been surprisingly out of the public eye, except for that story that was published in a broadsheet that I don't know how it got there. But because it has been so much out of the public eye, actually creating a rumor that the common folk start talking about will probably harm the Castellantov case. If, as you say, a song, a story, a tale is being rumored, talked about, shared in the taverns, inns, and all the water holes of this great city, then of course it becomes more difficult for the politicians
I put my hand on the bard's shoulder.
Devil house. There was a devil in the house. I just stand
Please
up
allow me
as
to introduce, man.
as the carriage is going past, like a bunch of people. I just stand up and lean outside with the lute, and I'm just like, there was a devil in the Castellanta's house, and like just start playing something, like singing out.
Someone is kind of like sweeping snow and goes at you. This is me early for the parades. Still winter.
So, Lord Rainier, is this the kind of
Singing
thing
is
that would
weird.
help or go against our case?
Yes, of course, it would need a proper seeding
Accompaniment.
throughout the seedy
Oh,
places. But I'm sure you can do that. I'm sure Flum would love to help that.
yes, I must get in touch with that dear boy.
Ah. Well, he's back to his old shenanigans, although I worry about him. He has some gambling debts as of recently. He came to me for money. I am broke now.
How much does he need?
500,000.
He apparently he wanted 500 gold dragons.
I could give you 100 if that'd help for now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can go find him in the Dogwood. In the
You don't
gambling
want to be
debts.
on his list for debt collection.
Well, it's not like that at all.
Wait. Are you some kind of like loan shark?
No, I was just gonna give you the money. I didn't really need it.
That's how it always starts.
Get on.
I'm a nice guy, I want to give you some
I
money.
thought you were an honest spirit of the forest.
You've got the wrong impression here.
I was doing this impression you
You're
can
writing
write
this
yourself
down.
now.
He does seem to have a lot more darker tendency than I do.
Under that appearance of innocence and stupidity lies a dark
Sausages.
heart.
Oh, by the way, did you want a sausage? Sorry.
No, I'm
They're a
all
little bit
good.
cold now, but
We're here! As the horses are reining and you are outside the main gates of the City of the Dead, next to the Temple of Kellenborg, with the side door that you're very familiar with because of the corpses you keep like, bringing in.
You'll be happy to see us today.
no cost.
There is the City Watch.
Not yet.
There are two members of the City Watch like guarding each side of the door. And as everyone starts climbing down, they kind of like stand taller. It's like, Lord, now. One of them actually looks at you. A hint of recognition in his face, looking at your armor. And one, you all
Oh, pardon.
Pauline walk into the City of the Dead. Lord Rainier kind of like have a quiet word with the groundskeeper as you go in. Gives a what's it called, a tithe, a donation,
Time.
a tithe, and let me lead you back all the way to the my family crypt. Do you reckon you're gonna find anything new in there?
We don't know.
What? I mean, this is almost where it all started. How come are we coming full circle here now?
Some things have come to light that we don't fully understand at this time, but we know that we need to be here.
Okay. Well, it is the sky is overcast. It's kind of like snowing a bit more than the light snow in the morning, so it's kind of like gloomy. But it is about noon. You know when it is overcast, snowing, and it is daylight, it creates these weird reflections where everything becomes like blurry and whitish, almost like a bloom. So the City of the Dead had that kind of like weird feeling with the reflections of the snowed, the bright spots of snow covering the tops of the statues, the mausoleums, the different crypts. And in the center, as you walk past, the massive statue that dominates the center of the City of the Dead. It's just up here. You. When we were there last time, you discovered that my father had left, had buried my mother in an old branded crypt, but it was changed. What is it really that has come to light? This is deeply troublesome. If this can be connected to yet another thing that belongs to me, in this case my mother's family, I will never claim her name.
I understand why you feel the way you do, and I wish I could tell you more than we have already, but until we go in there and we find out what we're going to find out, I would rather not tell you anything.
But do you want to come with us?
Well, I am.
But you can stay at the entrance. It could be dangerous. It's your choice.
The guardian will let you in unless I'm with you.
I know, but
I think he should come.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure you know the risks before.
Of course I know the risks. That's why I was warning Lucius against tagging along.
I mean, it might be a bit more risky than you imagine.
How so? I mean, we fought together deep in the
Well,
sewers.
Let's just say there's powers now involved beyond anything you might be able to comprehend.
There is a lot of talk of danger so cryptically masked, whilst alarming us as much as possible. Could you be more precise about the danger if you are to drill home the point that you are trying to make?
Well, I don't really care about you.
Well, for Rennie's benefit then.
Yeah, let's just say it could be. Imagine the worst thing and times that by 1,000. Potentially, but we don't know. And this
You're
is the
aware
thing.
of our run-in with Manchun?
I mean, I heard how Nalwithin died as part of, obviously, the case we are building against the Castellantes.
And we were there as part of that.
Yeah.
But we believe him, or his party, to still be involved, as well as a number of other parties of equal danger. And
Well, I thought that with Manchun out of the picture, that was it. That was the end of it. He was Manchun. How can there be others?
I mean, the Castellantes for starters.
Castellantes are a noble family. They're not Manchun.
Well, they've got dealings with, let's say, deep underground, or is that where the hell is?
Well, the truth is, we don't. Aside from the known factions that were after the treasure that your father embezzled, we don't know exactly what we might come across this very day.
And it sounds
There
like
might be something else entirely. So
It's
you
a-
have to be ready. That's
it sounds like. I mean, if this guy knows about it, who else knows about it? I mean, he's not exactly the most savvy person on the street, is he? So,
I beg your pardon.
well, no offense. I mean, full offense, really. But
I have a distinction from the College of Law. I know more about this city than perhaps.
I mean, he's talking about embezzling. He can be grandiose in his description, but he is very knowledgeable.
Thank you, Rennie.
very well.
This is not a peasant contest. Let's go on that.
Oh, there is. I am fond of this place, and you all start walking, approaching the gates. Arian, you are the first to hear, to your left and back, a crunching of foot over the snowed-on leaves, kind of like outside the path. You look behind you, as everyone else then start hearing it, and you see a group of people coming from to the left and behind you as you go into this kind of like hilly bit. So there are like kind of like elevations, a bit of terrain to your right and left, and the branded crypts are right at the end of the path. You see these people you don't recognize.
are they armed?
The first one, armed with an armor and a red cape. next to him, you see another armored person, a woman with long, flowy, like black hair. Behind the woman and the man, a person with a red robe covering all over to his head. And this one, and after them, a few more. But this one, the person with the robe, you recognize immediately. And at that moment is when you all turn around and hear the crunching feet. And you see there Cornelius.
Can I summon my
Amaris.
Bastard Sword as a reaction?
And Green. Followed by a tall man, short black hair with a bow that you don't recognize. No one recognizes. And like normal height man, kind of like dark, dark brown skin, with also a robe and staff. 5 people in total, led by Cornelius. You summon.
I'll also.
You only recognize Green, the orc that you fought in the ambush. You recognize Green. You recognize Green. You recognize these people. Actually, you do recognize these people as the gentleman knaves, led by Cornelius, a devout follower of the Dawn Father, the Morning Lord, and the other 2 no one recognizes. Cornelius stops maybe 60 feet away from you. Everyone kind of like fans out next to him. Looks at you, Keth. We saved you. We gave you a second chance at life when you were a slave. And you repaid us by killing Penny, killing Dart, and enslaving some children, making them make drugs. We had to rescue them from you.
I'm writing frantically.
You are more evil than we can ever imagine. And your evil and your friends ends today.
Wait, sorry, wait a second. What are you talking about? Let's just all put on.
Amaris start muttering some words. And at that, at that, another figure steps from behind the like cliffy area to the side
Is this what you wanted? Is this what you
and
wanted?
says, "Stop." As Cornelius is kind of like already drawing his sword, and you see there, you recognize, everyone recognizes, because even if you weren't there, you 100% recognize this person as Vittorio Casalante.
Whoa! Sorry.
And stops and says, "Cornelius." Looks at you all from 60 feet, standing next to the group.
None of you fucking move.
I guess it is time that we reevaluate potential deals. I see you've come far. You emerge from the depths of the crumbling Xanatar's lair with your prized treasure. And I wonder now why, of all the places my eye followed you to, you end up coming back here to Renee's crypts.
Psych.
It was a trick.
I'm fumbling, putting on a shield at the minute. Come back to me.
Sorry. So you all work for him? To the knaves?
Yes, they do. They've liberated the child, the slaves, the child labor slaves you had at your
The
manor.
child labour slaves we had out of man. Oh, you talk a lot of shit. So basically, you kidnapped the children that we were looking after who were on the streets before. And
It matters not. And you realize his voice booms and travels as he casts some kind of spell, making his voice stronger. I will offer you now a deal. And at that, Cornelius is kind of like, my lord? He goes, half for you, half for us. And the children, of course. Cornelius is like, my lord? And you see Green kind of like leaning in and whispering something to Cornelius as he's kind of like looking at Vittorio weird. And Cornelius' expression hardens and looks back at you with renewed anger. And kind of like prepares. What say you?
Well, we've not really got. We've had a bit of a difference. Not talking to the other ones. We've not really had. I know we've had a bit of our differences and stuff, and look, we did our best to help save the what's it, Growlhounds, wasn't it? The Growlhounds children, because obviously there was a lot of other people there. When I know that some of your people were trying to protect them, and I don't know why you're now working with the Castellantas, who, I mean, I'll be honest with you, are devil worshippers and have kidnapped the children.
Your words are laced with poison. We shall strike you and smash you down.
I have it on good authority that on the local music scene, songs are already being sung about the Castellanta's devil worship, I assure you.
Nonsensical.
I'm sorry, I tried my best.
I can prove
They
it.
are dragging their name through the mud to protect you.
I can prove it.
Devil worshippers. Gentlemen knaves. And Vittorio goes, you have one last chance. Half.
I'll step forward a little bit.
Yeah, what's that like current?
You are 60 feet from each other.
I'll step forward in front of the others a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, you guys want to make a run for it down there. Is there
I'm gonna
any way out?
shout, Cornelius!
Traitor.
I'm not a traitor. I just don't blindly believe what's good and what's evil. You don't realize that the person you're serving is a devil worshipper. You're blinded by what you
Of
perceive.
course you will say that. And looks at Green. And Green looks.
Do you remember the people?
Fiend of the Underdark.
Do you remember the people you killed that day? Were they all Drow? Were they all evil?
Of course they were. Slavers. Like you are. Because you cannot shed that side of your skin. It has called upon you to enslave urchins of Waterdeep. That evil must not be.
Have you spoken to the kids?
You're making me laugh. Must not stand. Gentlemen,
This guy's
charge! And Victoria goes, oh, for fuck's sake, and starts casting spell. Everyone rolls initiative.
How many is there in total?
Seemingly a lot.
Actually, we're going to roll initiative. We're going to record it and we're going to take a break here.
Record it.
Where's our backup?
Record initiative.
Backup plan? Anyone? We were gonna come here silently unseen, and how we didn't. So
Well, you're right, it's too dangerous, I know.
Yeah, right away.
And they all died!
Long live Vittorio Castellanza!
Not a devil worshiper.
We're in the sky.
By the way, Arion, okay, give me your passive perceptions, please.
15.
15.
10.
Gosh, it might be 16.
15.
No, 10.
17.
Thompson.
Oh, 16. Sorry, 16, man.
16. Okay, Arion, you notice something. You notice. Oops. Also roll my
Hilariously
initiative.
low.
Sorry. There's a lot of
I
people here.
did that. I was just trying
Um,
to like.
I presume we have a level up then, have we?
Yeah, we leveled up.
Yeah, you leveled
We're
up.
7.
Oh, I thought because we didn't have a long rest.
We did have a
We
long
did
rest.
Yeah, you
I
have.
thought we did.
Yeah, you did like a weight hunger down reset.
Alright. Alright.
Should have gone rogue.
Quickly change it. You've not done anything with level
Have you
7 yet.
multi-classed?
I wanted to, but then I thought.
But you, to be fair though, you wouldn't have known until you got the thing. So yeah. It's
I didn't ask because now I have advantage against being charmed, and then I can cancel any charm if I get charmed, and I'm immune to being charmed.
It's just
Like,
And immune to fear, and also immune to fear.
I'm gonna cast you charm person, see if it works.
Why did you take? I thought you were just dead against level 7.
Yeah, I just didn't want to bother like fussing about multi-classing stuff.
But you learned all those neat tricks from Silas about how to be a rogue.
You've been hanging out in the Sandra's lair.
you don't get much though level 1, do you?
Loads of good
Ooh,
stuff.
fucking hell.
Two
Cornelius roll a
XPs,
20.
You get
Sneak
another
attack.
skill. You get.
Do you sneak at level 1?
I think it's only 1 to 6, but it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Decent.
it's good.
Thieves' tools.
Are you rolling individually for each of them? Jeez.
Yes, I mean this is.
Yeah, actually, it's probably better that way. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're gonna
no.
destroy
If
us.
they go all together,
We're dead.
is in this kind of thing. So if I have like a group of goblins or whatever, I'm gonna roll them together. But in a case of like NPCs,
Well, I know what I'm gonna do. And it's probably gonna fuck over anyone that gets too close, but good luck.
okay. So
Fuck up. They don't want to get too close to you.
That's to them.
1 second. Sorry, it's just there's a lot.
Basically you.
Okay, Ariel, give me your.
And area.
6.
Oh
So
wow.
Probably nothing.
No,
You heard something that really
It's
distracted you.
Diablo left us.
I'm gonna.
Hey, you know what?
I'm gonna describe something for you now.
That Cornelius. He's
Genhorn,
got a good story.
3. Oh,
I was too busy talking to them.
Patch
And we had
There's
the
no-
13.
Yeah.
Keth
10.
10 and
Oh.
Lucius
16.
16. There we go. Faster Lucius.
Faster than light.
Okay, let me arrange this as then I describe quickly what
How you die.
you see, Arian.
They'll go before you.
Where's your mini?
I don't have a mini.
We're all bunched up. Couple fireballs
I
in
can-
there.
You don't have
Done.
a tag
Pile.
either. Silas.
Oh yeah, my thing still says Silas. We should change that at the break.
Yeah. Well, I need to do another thing at the break. So
Yeah, that's not worry much about it. Me, you will always be Silas in our hearts.
He has to be mini.
I don't know my name, doesn't it? Silver the Volley.
there's a lot of people, guys.
Don't say that. Why do you say that? You said there's a lot of people, guys.
No, a lot of people on both sides. I mean, if you like add up
Alright,
both
strong.
sides, there's a ton of people
Don't
here.
forget, we've got Lord Renair as well.
Yeah, you got Laura
He's
Nair.
probably
You
leveled
should
up.
balance out Victoria Castellaneta, and then we're just. we'll take another
I'm not
You
sure.
notice something.
Back up. Black staff.
Victoria Castellaneta is actually the.
In the hillside next to
There's more.
Golf set.
to one of the in one of the hill
Dragon?
to your side, you see a figure slinking in the shadows, and you recognize immediately as a lithe figure moving about. You recognize as the same figure that you saw in the manor
Silas.
that night, opposite.
That's actually moving
In one of the rooftops opposite the manor, and as you look and you notice, the figure kind of like hides behind a bush and goes at you. As-
How close were we
Can't
to
see
the
me, I
crypt
wanna
as
kill
well at
you
this
by
point?
surprise.
How close were we to the crypt at this point?
Quite far. Well, not like super far, but a little bit.
no. It's you're like 60 feet from the creek. You're like right next
Oh,
to
I
it.
thought it was like down in the valley.
Nice.
Now you can see that the tree and the.
Yeah, but it's
the
close.
entrance.
Try and beat up these people.
Yep, Chin, please, hello!
Lucas, just that question so we have a think. These people, how close are all the enemies to each other? Are they sort of standing in a line?
They were standing together with Vittorio a bit further back.
Battle map.
We're
And,
doing
uh,
a 4-3-3 formation.
4-3. I have so from their side I have Cornelius, Amaris, Green, 2 people that you don't recognize, and Vittorio. From your side I have Genhorn, Keth, Arion, Patch, Lucius, and René. And then there is apparently a figure here.
Someone camping in a fortnight. in
And
the bush.
yeah, Fortnite camper. And we're going to take a break here because I need to go prepare
This is well timed, 6
a
o'clock.
set piece.
All right.
Goodbye for now.
Yeah, we got some